right, everyone getting set up already. We're going to have some rotations in. Jab's just going to be smoked up, placing some vision.
Well, unlucky. Crit places the observer ward right next to the camp with that sentry that Jab's placed to block the camp. Already sees it, so probably going to get taken down when question mark, question mark, question mark, ice himself comes down and sees that.
Yep. For now, EG just getting a little territorial here around their shrines. Universe making sure there's no rotations in through that way, and seems like it'll be a peaceful rest of the time before the horn. When do you think this game's going to get bloody? Is it going to be right off the bat level 1 ganks, or is it going to kind of be calm and collected until the first round items come out?
I think it'll be pretty slow early on. Depending on how their lane setups go, I think EG's offlane looks strong in the void. Like, the matchup is good. There's a real big lack of disables, and it's really easy for a Treant Protector to come up and try to make some things happen. So I expect something to happen around there. I don't see Faceless being able to make the same maneuver just because Clockwork against Lifestealer is not a good matchup. Typically, if your offlane matchup is good against whatever carry they have, then you have the power to pressure them eventually. So that's where I would look for the action.
All right, getting things started. We've got just a 2-2 split on bounty runes, nothing too crazy, and everyone going to their respective lanes. And which lanes are going to be really tough? Which lanes are going to need more help, more support, more rotations in?
I imagine the mid lane. Shadow Fiend against Puck when SF already starts with 12 souls is extremely difficult for Puck.
Yep, gotta get that Clockwork in there. Cogs Deny is just so good. Sumail eating up the Iron Branch tree, knows he's going to be taking a ton of damage here. Black is already keen on just harassing him whenever possible. Up in this top, we are going to have Universe up by himself, going up against the Vengeful Spirit and the Disruptor, taking some good old damage from that level 1 Thunder Strike, but should be able to stay healthy.
So, we both have good standard lanes pretty much coming from both sides right now. Nothing too crazy happening, but I worry for the supports on Faceless, because as soon as those rotations come in, they're extremely vulnerable.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. You got this Disruptor who, I mean, he's just going to be food for the big cores on EG once they get farmed up, but hopefully he'll be able to keep himself back in these fights. Down bottom, Arteezy already getting some good harass in onto Ice, but he'll be staying back again. Clockwork's job in lane is just don't die, try to, pretend to mitigate pressure, but, just don't die, play safe, get your level 6, and then start to rotate with your team, set up some clutch hook shots, and watch the rest of your team do the damage. Courier kill in the mid, as Jabs rotates forward and does find it.
Yep, snags the courier, and something we forgot to mention is that XY is actually playing the carry, and Jabs is playing support. Perhaps this is a role thing since Black is playing the Shadow Fiend in the mid. Perhaps not. I have no idea.
Yeah,
that is definitely not
switch
normal.
Up. XY is their position 4 most of the time, so that's why I thought we were going to see a support Venge, and I'm like, oh, they don't have enough damage, but now we got the core Venge. She's going to unload the Magic Missile. Universe just going to go ahead and leap right on out of there, so successfully burning some mana off of Faceless, and he'll get right back to farming.
And that courier snipe is definitely a big thing for deciding this mid lane matchup. Puck won't be able to deliver his bottle or any other sorts of regen, while Black will be able to. So that's something they have going for them right now.
Yeah, in terms of our mid lane slap out, Shadow Fiend just getting a little bit more in terms of last hits. Puck only getting 9 to his name, and now Sumail taking a bunch of damage there. Ray's going to be dodged out with phase shift there, and immediate salve up, just wanting to stay impactful in lane.
Oh, yes, there we go. In business.
There we go. Moving up. Sumail going to be healed back to full with that salve. Zai makes his way up the stairs. He's going in, looking for that punch onto Black, but he's going to just walk right on through. These guys are content just to keep dueling it out for now. Going forward, we'll see that Jabs goes ahead and picks up some goodies off the courier. Just going to go in and try to contest some of that farm. Doesn't take
this is the Jungle Weaver strategy.
I know. Jabs can pop the clarity. We'll see if Treant's going to get greedy and cancel it. He does go in, just pops a leech seed. Jabs is going to be able to stay back. Zai should be able to walk forward, but clarity canceled and a little bit of Weaver's time wasted.
Yep, gives space to Universe up top lane now. He can leech and push out the Disruptor. It's all space created.
Yeah, this is going to be a calm game until everyone gets their ultis, because EG, I mean, their lineup is just so contingent on fighting as 5, getting those big ults, getting those life stealer bombs going. So for now, they're content just to sit back and farm. They do have to keep track of how farm Black is getting, how much space he's getting, as Sumail is going to be on his own now as 3 heroes are coming forward. Disruptor goes in towards the rune spot, both just going to part ways.
Well, now we have Train Protector Zai making rotations up to the top lane. There's not that much kill potential on these heroes unless Disruptor happens to trade hits with Void in the lane, but there is a sentry, so we'll be able to see that if that happens. But of course, it secures Void some farm, which is good.
Yep, in terms of last hits, Universe only has 2 for himself right now. Definitely needs a little bit of space, a little bit of farm before he's able to get really anything for himself. Still dreaming of the Iron Talon.
This Weaver pick is quite odd. Like, I don't understand what he is going to accomplish in this game. I guess the Ags time-lapse is a good tool at dealing with Chronosphere and some of this big team fight from EG, but I mean, so far in the early game, he's just running around hitting jungle creeps. He was able to snipe the courier, but for now, this is kind of his big game plan.
Yeah, for now, he's kind of playing like a bounty hunter, just crawling around, getting vision. He took out the courier, but he's only level 2 at 5 minutes in. Definitely not taking super advantage of just solo jungling. So it's going to be a while before we see big damage coming out of the Weaver. How do you think it's going to itemize?
Well, if he does get to any items, he's probably going to go for Solar Crest into Aghanim Scepter. Just good tools at dealing with EG's massive team fight, but he's definitely a long ways away, and I don't see any way for him to get it reliably. Zai is setting up on the mid lane, though. He's waiting his 8 seconds to fade into invisibility so he can land the punch route onto Black, but not the strongest gank as well.
Yeah, Black really hugging the tower, just taking advantage of the Radiant creeps making their way all the way up there. So, for now, bottom lane, there's a big juicy stack here. We've got Crit on the Phoenix, just trying to keep it defended, but Ice, he knows what's up, and he's going to keep poking his head down there.
That's a hard stack to kill. Phoenix needs a bunch of levels to kill that. I guess Shadow Fiend could kill it if you really wanted to make the rotation down there, which isn't a bad idea. It's a quad stack down there, so.
Yeah, just going to pull some dire creeps into it, start to take down a very difficult to kill stack. Up in the top lane, we are going to have our first blood as everyone just jumps in. Disruptor, the unfortunate casualty, Sumail makes his way up and is able to help out Universe. So we talked about those squishy supports getting picked on, and well, that's how we're starting things out.
Yep, excellent haste rune there. Sumail's able to make the rotation.
Oh, down here in the bottom lane, Ice, he is just going to go try for the TP out. The Leech Seed comes in, but they don't have quite enough damage. He's going to make his way back to base, and TP down from Nuts, freshly respawned from the well. He'll be able to hold this back for now.
I think, well, they do see, well, they know that they're contesting the stack now down bottom, so perhaps SF will run down there and just raise it twice and take it all for him. It'd be quite nice for him to do because this is dying so slowly.
Yeah, it is taking a lot of effort. Everyone just giving 110% trying to take that out. And yeah, in terms of Shadow Fiend, he's doing really well for himself. 53 last hits, 46 denies. A good chunk of the denies are cogs from the start, but still, really doing his job. Overall net worth, he's top of the chart. Finally.
Yep, I think Weaver just wants a lane. Shadow Fiend, go jungle, give me mid, man, come on. Venge, rotate down the bottom, give me a lane, because he can't really make moves on his own, but if he gets some time to kind of farm and get some experience, he's almost level 3 right now, at 8 minutes in the game. It's not ideal, but I mean, it doesn't matter what level he is. He's going to still do the same thing. He wants to sit in lane and just try to get some farm.
Ooh, big smoke down. This is what you were talking about, the rotation in from Black. They're going to be going forward. Ice. Giving some vision to what's going on. They know trees in the area, but they don't quite have vision to lock him down, so 3 heroes spend their time making their way in, but not able to find any kills just yet. There's going to be a flare coming forward.
Yep, unfortunate. And Puck is now coming in. He has a double damage with the coil. He could perhaps look to make a rotation. Looks like not.
He just wants to head back to mid and make up for some of that unfortunate CSing that happened.
He's just glad that Shadow Fiend's not in the lane anymore.
Nuts making his way through. Only level 3 on that Disruptor. Still long time to go before we have big ults coming forward. And well, still More pressure coming in. Sumeli's got a lot of ground to make up. This puck is feeling a little bit weak when it comes to net worth, and I mean, just going against a Shadow Fiend will do that to you, but how does a puck make up a disparity this big?
Well, he just needs to get involved in some team fights, press his buttons, drop the coil and the orb on someone, and they can pretty much kill anyone right now. Even SF is quite vulnerable with his double damage, so he just can't do anything on his own. He needs some friends before he can gank.
Yep. Up in the top, we've got Faceless doing all right for themselves. Vengeful Spirit, level 7.5. Going to be going in for the Dragon Lance. Just some nice, easy stats on her. And she was able to find some solo time to go punch this top tower. And, well, it is the first tower to fall.
Yep, just getting nice and tanky. That is one thing that EG's lineup does not do well, is they don't kill people very well in Chronosphere. Nakes can't attack people in Chrono. Faceless Void doesn't have the highest damage output. It's pretty much just spells. We have Phoenix and Puck's abilities. So a tanky Venge can definitely survive Chrono and create some space in these fights.
We do have Universe ticking over to that level 6, so Chrono is now up, but I think, like you talked about, you can Chrono, but can't kill, so probably worth just holding on to that cooldown until you're sure you can take someone out.
It's about the threat. You know, Void's running at you with Chrono, farming the lane in front of you. Pretty scary.
Absolutely. Jabs picking up a regen rune. That's got to feel so good. Dream Coil dropped down, but Jabs makes it out. He is going to be TPing, but knows there's nothing to hold him in place. So Sumail, ulti down for over a minute. Not able to find anything off of that.
Yep, unfortunate there. No coil for about a minute now.
Up top, Universe just soaking in the solo farm, but Black just back to dominating this mid lane. Already has his treads, already has his Aquila, and 2,000 golds saved up in the bank. What's he going for here? Is this going to be, you know, super early BKB? Is he going to stop for a luxury like a Dragon Lance?
I have no idea. What do you want to buy here? I mean, it's honestly just a preference thing. Some people go Shadow Blade, some people go Dragon Lance into a BKB style build. It's just whatever he feels like will help him win the game. Tanking up is very, very good this game because, as we previously said, EG, they lack damage in Chronosphere, so that Dragon Lance into whatever tank item will help him quite a bit. Looks like that's what it is. Full Dragon Lance coming out right now, so he's going to be very, very tanky. Venge, same thing, 1,500 health. I think EG are in they're in some trouble right now. They can't really force these lanes down, and their team fight isn't that good yet. They lack a lot of damage. Lifestealer is strong, but of course he can only hit people in coil. Phoenix still needs a bunch more levels before he does a whole bunch of magic damage, so it's a bit awkward. If Faceless do make some rotations and force EG to fight them, I do believe Faceless will take these fights convincingly.
Well, we're going to see as all of Faceless are now wadded up. We do have the hook shot online. We're going to score a nice angle onto this Lifestealer. Arteezy holding onto the Rage. He knows he's being chased, so he'll back up to the safety of his tier 1 tower, but we'll see if Faceless is going to give up the chase. It seems like they're content to dive this. They do have XY with the swap available, and she's just going to dive right into the tower.
I'm scaring him off.
Mid lane is just going to be Puck finally getting some time to himself in lane, able to push onto the tower, but the fight's going to start breaking out now as we are going to have Ice being the first victim. He goes for the cogs, hook shots himself to freedom, but these neutrals might not be the saviors he hoped for. Still goes down to crit, the Sunray being too strong.
Sumail mid getting extremely low, trying to find the solo kill on Jabs. Oh, almost lands the orb.
Arteezy's going to get stunned up, doesn't rage in time. Looks like the fight is still going to be going as Zai eating some more trees, pressing in, trying to keep Faceless back for now. Just trying to waste their time, I guess. Meanwhile, Jabs scurrying away with a fraction of health, still no ult on him, hasn't found his level 6 just yet. Orb coming up, and Sumail's hunting. There's going to be a flare revealing Sumail, and now Sumail's trapped. Is going to have that orb back on cooldown and makes his way back into the river. Ice does not have that hook shot to follow up, so it looks like Sumail's just going to be juking and jiving and pulling the attention of Faceless away from the bottom lane.
Yep, meanwhile, EG have regained some control over the bottom lane. Trian's healing the tower up, so looks quite difficult for them to push that.
Universe going to be hopping out, not looking to spend that Chronosphere here, just wants to get some more safe, secure farm up in this top lane, because this tier 2 tower starting to get pushed on as the creeps are making their way in, and yeah, Faceless definitely trying to get a map advantage going for themselves, but how much time can they really afford to spend down this bottom lane? Dust by Ice, trying to see if there's any Tria Protector right behind him, but won't find much.
Mid lane Jabs is, oh, he's alive actually, gets the time lapse off. Sumail drops all the spells on him with the Veil, unable to get the kill. And this is pretty good from Faceless. They're securing this tower, they're playing against Train Protector, they know that they have to finish the tower or else it gets healed right back up, so they just keep coming back down, and EG know that they can't take any fights right now. SF and Venge, when they're both sitting on Strength Treads, 1600 health on both of them. Way too tanky to deal with for now.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Faceless. They've got themselves 2 towers, and when you just look at how their lanes are divided, mid lane Sumail still really struggling to come back in, Shadow Fiend feeling just orders of magnitude stronger than him right now, and we'll see if there's going to be some pressure in trying to kill off this puck, because so far he has evaded death.
He has indeed evaded death, but now he's going to helplessly watch as Black hits his tower with double damage.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage coming at you. You got full souls, you got double damage, and Shadow Fiend already has the Dragon Lance and most of a BKB. He is super rich. I mean, how can Black blow this, basically? He's really ahead. Is he going to be falling off into the later game, or can he just keep this lead rolling?
There's still the big team fight from EG, so he looks strong now, but once EG pick up some damage, perhaps a misstep or two, he's very killable.
Yep, going in. There's going to be a hook shot forward. Static Storm dumped out, but Puck is able to fly away. Chronosphere comes in, but they do end up catching Lifestealer in it. Lifestealer's done, and now Universe pushed away by the Cogs. It's not going great so far for EG. Just going to be a leap out. Looks like Venge gets low, but isn't going to be killed off just yet. Zai can't even make it up to punch her once. And now Jab still going forward. The Bug's doing a number onto Sumail, and the Flare going to be dodged out by the phase shift. Sumail looks like he will be able to make it back to base. Jabs still keeps the follow-up. Meanwhile, the tower goes down to Black. That was just a disaster of a team fight from EG, and Faceless didn't even lose one person.
Yeah, Lifestealer got chronoed there. He died in like 4 right clicks to Shadow Fiend. Again, there's just no damage at all, right? I mean, SF was full HP at the end of the fight. Venge is like half.
I mean, you see
there's
that
actually
Chronosphere
nothing
going in, and you got to be in Universe's mind. Like, that is such a great Chronosphere setup. Everyone's kind of wadded together, but yeah, we saw once the Chronosphere came out, like, what do? It's just going to be Universe hitting on you from inside the Chronosphere. He's still super poor and doesn't do any damage, and the fact that RTZ was clipped in the Chronosphere was a really unfortunate accident.
Yep, unfortunate indeed, but even without it, I'm not sure they would have been able to take that fight. We saw the Phoenix Egg. It was like, I don't know, they just didn't have their spells. They need items, right? They need Blink Dagger on Puck before they can actually take these fights convincingly. So they can land the Nake's Bomb well, along with the Chrono, and then they can root with the Supernova on top of it, but it's just not there right now.
We were talking earlier about this kind of awkward support Weaver that we haven't seen run in this position much, and Jabs, he's got his medallion to finish that off early, and he's almost at the Aghanim Scepter, so we're going to see that big team fight aid time-lapse coming in. Is that going to be enough to mitigate Ice? Okay. Is that new Ags Weaver going to be enough to withstand the team fight of EG if they do combo themselves perfectly?
Yeah, it's like the complete counter to their team fight. They'll blow all these big cooldown spells. Black gets a nice soul kill. That's the Shadow Blade right there. Went backward after the Dragon Lance.
Faceless Void, he's just so poor. He was trying to stay really safe in his own jungle, but Dire, they've got some great deep wards here. Getting some good vision on that. They've got another one down here on the low ground, so Radiant really can't escape to their own jungle and try to get back in this.
Yeah, EG are in trouble. This is the 5-man that doesn't stop. They have tons of damage, too, to actually take these buildings quickly, along with Roshan whenever they want, so I'm not sure what EG can do. I mean, they need some ganks, they need some pickoffs with their Puck Bomb. Lifestealer even has the Hand of Midas queued up, but he hasn't bought it yet. He knows this is a hard game, and that he needs something to be able to win this game right now.
Yeah, definitely not going to be easy here. EG have to get off some really clean team fights, and they've got to get back control over some of their map. See here, Sumail not even feeling safe without Crit there to buddy system it up. You've got Treant walking through the woods. He's going to be able to go ahead and snap down that ward. Big smoke up. XY going to be revealed, but we'll see if Nuts is going to walk forward and look for anything. The rest of EG going to make their way towards mid, but it's looking like they won't find much here.
Perhaps they do have a ward, so they see Sumail farming the camp. But
Yep, hook shot in. They do get the Static Storm down. He's silenced up, stuck in the cogs. This poor Puck can't run away. Trying to be healed up by the Sunray of Crit, but yeah, Phoenix can't stop that damage from coming in, so it's looking like Faceless now get a free license to push this bottom lane as much as they want. They take the tier 2 tower. This mid laner dies once again, and it's really tricky for EG to get off any sort of team fight.
Yeah, Black is so farmed. 11k net worth at 18 minutes of the game. He's 4,000 above the next highest. And he shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Almost has the BKB. I think slap on an Aegis, Venge gets Solar Crest or some other pretty decent team. Actually, Venge almost has BKB. She's very farmed as well.
Yep, she doesn't have to stop for that Solar Crest. She's got this weird support Weaver taking care of that.
That's right, he does. Weaver Medallion almost has the Aghanims also, only 300 gold away from that. And this is when things start to get pretty grim here for EG. Once Weaver has his Aghanim Scepter, like, that's when SF can just stand and attack things freely without any real hope of EG being able to go on him. He can counter-initiate, and there's also multiple tools of counter-initiation with the Venge swap, so...
Yeah, we really haven't seen much out of Venge here. She's just been quietly farming up, just wandering around with her team. Got herself one assist, but for the most part, XY just playing pretty cautiously, waiting for those big items and not overexerting himself. And EG, it looks like they're keen to take a fight here. We do have that infest inside of Sumail. Everyone's smoked up, and they're going to make their way here. They will go ahead and pop their smoke. Puck makes its way forward. There's the splat of the infest bomb coming out. They do get that coil break onto the Venge. So far, looking good. Clockwork down. But how do they find any more kills? Crit keeps his eyes on one, but the attention of EG is split. And they can't find anything else. Nuts will live with a fraction of health. Crit not able to keep the chase up.
Yeah, they got a big Clockwork kill there. Disruptor also uses ultimate, so they should be able to secure the mid tower off this. That's just the blink dagger timing on the puck. Puck finishes blink finally. They smoked up, went for a nice kill, and it leads into a lot. But it looks like FACELESS want to defend this.
They're going to be going back in. XY makes himself known. They're just going to be stunning up Arteezy. And now more TPs coming forward. Clockwork coming in. Does have the hook shot ready. They can try to set up. Now Shadow Blade is going to be rocking for the Shadow Fiend. And, well, there's the time lapse. Always keen to help with the Weaver. Now Arteezy once again going to get stunned. Not able to rage in time. And still on cooldown. He makes his way back up the other side of the stairs. And seems like that's going to be the end of the fight. FACELESS do make a hold. And this tower lives with just a fraction of health on the backside. They're going to have Zai, unfortunately trapped in there. They have vision. Shadow Fiend gets the tower deny, so, well, it's a Clockwork trade for a Treant Protector and a tower deny.
Yep, and it's looking like Roshan time as well.
Yeah, they're just going to go straight on him, and a Treant Protector supplies so much of their lockdown, and they just can't fight without him dead.
Yep, the big problem is all their lockdown are ultimates, right? You have Dream Coil, Chronosphere, even Overgrowth. These are all super long cooldown spells that they can't afford to be wasting on one target when they just get time-lapse back. So unless they can really snag a whole bunch of heroes in these spells, it's not likely that they'll be able to teamfight at all.
For now, FACELESS just really getting secure with their lead. EG, you can see how tightly they're playing together. They just don't want to leave each other by themselves because there's so much gank potential that comes out. Clockwork landed some pretty clutch hook shots, and man, this is tough. You talked about EG need to go in with a big fight and all their ults, but we kind of saw that here up on that shrine fight, and it still didn't seem to be enough.
Yeah, it's a bit too late for that now. FACELESS have so many tanky items on their heroes. They just EG lack the damage to really do anything, even in these ultimates.
Well, we're gonna see now. Crit trying his best, just plopping out some fire spirits, but this tower's melting low. Zai does have the ult ready. Could just start things off with an Overgrowth. There is going to be that splat of the Infest Bomb, but nice time lapse off. Weaver very quick to save his teammates, and it looks like Puck is going to be the one eating all the damage. BKB coming forward. Shadow Fiend now just going to be right-clicking onto Arteezy. Black does have the Aegis, so we can just continue to press forward here. Meanwhile, Jabs, our support Weaver, doing carry tier damage. Arteezy trying to live with armlet toggles in the trees, and it looks like he's doing his best. Might be able to take out the Venge. Oh, the Venge lives with just a fraction of health. And Arteezy's down. These three cores have buyback, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. The tier 3 pressure is starting to come in, and Black still has that Aegis.
It's only 23 minutes in. Shadow Fiend, ridiculously farmed, still has the Aegis, and he has a wonderful support staff behind him. The Aghanim's Weaver with the time lapse pretty much makes sure that he can't die in these fights at all.
All right, dust sprayed out. Zai is in some trouble here, just wandering into the corner of the map, but it's looking like this could be a really early GG in favor of FACELESS. They are just having some fun. Universe able to go forward, will be able to pop the Aegis of the Shadow Fiend, but he's now coming back in bigger and badder than ever. Meanwhile, Ice just hanging out in the trees, cogsing himself for fun, and EG, they just can't find any kills off the back of this. Finally, Faceless will back up, but nothing really gained for EG now. Like they want to burn down XY in the trees, TPing out. There is going to be a Dream Coil to stop that TP, and they do score the kill on the bench. Now they're looking for more. They will find Disruptor, so a little bit of a cleanup going on, but still a lot of work before EG makes up that big lead that Faceless still have.
Yep, at least they pick up 2 kills off the back of that, some gold in their pockets now. But, yeah, this is hard. At least SF doesn't have Aegis anymore. That's probably the biggest thing that came out of that team fight.
Yep.
So now, yeah. I mean, we saw the way they started that fight. They went in with one set of spells, trying to bait out the time-lapse, and then they dropped the next set of spells over the top of that, but still, they weren't able to drop the Venge in the very beginning of that fight, and now they have double BKBs up on their cores, too.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit spooky. Looks like 4 staff up next for Vengeful Spirit. Just wants a little bit more control, building up into that Hurricane Pike. And Black, he's got himself about 1,000 more gold. Already turned that Shadow Blade into the Silver Edge, so going to be dishing out even more damage. What does our Shadow Fiend go for here to just keep up this pace?
Butterfly is super good. He has it in his quick buy right now. That evasion helps him against the Lifestealer. I mean, the Lifestealer is the only actual hero that has a chance of killing him in this game. If the Lifestealer hits him like 25 times, SF might die, so he's thinking of all the scenarios here and building up towards that, which is nice.
Oh, up here in this top lane, looks like Sumail already burned down the orb. Black trying to keep Sumail on lock and goes in. They break him, they force out the phase shift, and now jabs. They try to keep on top of this guy. Sumail just gets dropped, man. He melted. Oh man, this is unfortunate.
Yep.
Now there's no buyback, so for 45 seconds, EG have to hold without their puck, which means no Dream Coil, none of that big control, and missing a huge chunk of their damage. It's like Faceless aren't going to waste any time, just pressuring right back up this top lane.
At least Trant has healed the tower up about 500 health, so it'll take a bit longer for it to drop.
That's looking on the bright side there, Brax.
Maybe they can stall for puck to respawn.
We'll see. Fire Spirit's plopped out by crit, but yeah, Black just dodging those like it's no big deal. And like you talked about, big change here as Venge has that 10-second BKB. I'm going to try to fight this. Looks like they're just immediately dumping out some damage onto Zai. They've got vision of him, and well, BKB popped out. There is going to be the overgrowth from Zai holding 3 in place, and to Chrono. It's probably going to be enough. I mean, they are going to be burning down the Vengeful Spirit. Static Storm comes out, but not going to be doing any real damage. Nuts going to be time-lapse back. The Weaver opting to help save the supports. There's a double Dream Coil as Puck spawns back into the fight. They do finally get down that pesky Disruptor, but looks like the rest of Faceless still might get out with their lives. They trade once more for crit. Black still full health, full mana. He's content to keep going, but the rest of his team, they've got it back. They can't fight without this Venge and the control of the Disruptor.
Yep, I think Venge didn't play the fight too well. Like, SF is that hero that can kind of get in there and they can save, but Venge just a bit too far up, and they focused the Venge, they're able to kill him. Time-lapse didn't come out in time. But, I mean, EG holds their tower for him to tank up as much as possible. Much better than going for a Desolator.
Black getting kind of close to that first component of the butterfly, and, well, now Sumail shows himself down here. There is going to be a swap back. He's going to go try to orb himself to freedom and drops the Dream Coil onto 2. XY confused about who they're going on. A little bit of indecision may cost Faceless their lives here. Venge already popped out the BKB, is going to be saved by the Weaver, just trying to walk her way back to freedom. There is still a tier 1 tower to help her out. Arteezy just going ham. Looks like he will opt to back off. Now the egg comes out as Black is just going to be right-clicking away, and they will be able to get down crit. That Phoenix not coming back into the fight. Now Arteezy going to be surrounded here, pushed back by the Cogs. He's got no more mana. There is going to be Universe coming forward, but another time-lapse may just save the Venge. It's not going to be enough. She goes down. Arteezy's still alive. Requiem of Souls drop down. They do score the kill on Arteezy. Now Zai revealed in the trees. They popped out another sentry, and they will be able to clean up the tree as well. So Venge and that Disruptor traded for 3 heroes. Faceless pretty content with this. They'll go ahead and just clean up the creeps, back off into their own territory, and reset.
Yep, every ultimate from EG was used there as well, so looks like this tier 2 tower is next on Faceless's menu. I don't think EG want to... I mean, they can't fight at all without their abilities, but it was a pretty good start, the last team fight. However, once Faceless rolls in with the rest of their troops, looks pretty tough.
Black does have enough for that Eagle Song, but probably wanted to save for buyback. He hasn't been getting too low in these fights, but I mean, really all EG need is a big window where Venge, Weaver, and Shadow Fiend are dead, so Black not too keen to give him that opportunity.
Yep, we've got approximately 1 minute until Chronosphere is up. Might not be enough time for them to get that mid-tier 2 tower. They're more concerned about just maximizing their farm, getting as much as they can out of the map.
Roche going to be up very soon. Going to be dropping Aegis and Cheese, something Faceless are very interested to be holding. Just getting that on Black would mean he's just so powerful and just keep pushing up, fighting, going deep into the base. Man, look at the damage coming out of him. That's a 3-shot onto a full health Treant Protector. Oh no. TP out from Sumail. He's already been killed a few too many times here, just completely murdered by Faceless, so can't be out on his own, and now Roche is up. Black just going to be soloing it down. It's got to be on EG's mind, but like you mentioned, without all those ults up, without all their synergy ready to go, it's impossible to take a big fight.
Yeah, especially with the kill on the tree. It's so hard for them to walk into that area. Trying to secure vision against Clockwork and Disruptor is not easy in that part of the map. Now Aegis and Cheese.
Yep, 30 minutes in, we've got our Venge, who's now even more survivable. Still making some progress towards her 4-staff Dragonlance, or Hurricane Pike, but not a whole lot of growth out of her in terms of net worth. She's hanging back towards the back end of the course.
Yep, we've got a full Butterfly now on Shadow Fiend, so good luck killing him once. He has Aegis, so yeah, not happening.
He is just hitting hard, hitting fast, and this tier 2 tower does not stand a chance. EG, they've got to dump out all their ults in the right order and just get everyone where they need them to be. So we'll see how it's going to be starting off. Crit, maybe thinking about just going for that crazy Icarus dive. Sumail goes forward, blasts out of silence. It only clips onto Shadow Fiend, but it's all over in a moment. Faceless, they just want to burn some cooldowns here. There's a buybacks. Oh, I got a couple on the board.
Yep. Treant Protector is very hard to push into. He's just gonna, even if they can't heal up the towers enough while Faceless are sieging, it still makes it difficult for SF to tank the tower and just keep hitting it over and over. So, you know, this is where EG are strongest, inside their own base.
Snail again, playing a dangerous game, poking his head forward, just looking for those initiations, but so far Faceless just gonna be holding strong, not giving anything away. Gonna go in and Nuts trying to de-ward here. Both wards end up going down. I mean, Faceless, clearly they're playing very patiently. They've got Aegis, they've got Cheese, but is there an opportunity for Faceless just to blow it, to be too passive here? Are EG just going to scale like monsters late game, or do Faceless have a bunch of time to work with?
Oh, it's the slow death here for EG. I don't think Faceless are losing out on too much playing it safely, so perhaps they could get a bit more damage on the tower, but unless they actually break it through, there's no real point for them to try to force anything even more. They just want a team fight somewhere outside of EG's base.
That's why moving forward. Looking for that puck, but he's blinking back to safety. So again, they just make their rounds, clean up a couple of neutral creeps, and they're back in it. Now, Infest bomb onto Sumail. It looks like they're serious about defending this time. Black taking a lot of damage from those tower shots, getting pretty low, and doesn't want to burn that Aegis without good cause. Jabs. And he's spending that time lapse on him as Crit makes his way down to the low ground, but Icarus dives right back up.
Alright, so they hold for now against the DD Shadow Fiend. It's pretty hard for him to walk up.
Talked about the slow death, and you can just feel the frustration for EG not being able to get their fight going. Halberd spent on her Shadow Fiend here, and they're going to be making an attempt. They had the open wounds going, but Black just immediately hops into that Silver Edge and sticks with the rest of his crew. Faceless, giving up no territory here. All right.
Nice, Arteezy's rocking out there in front of the base.
Of course he is.
That's what it's all about. Trying to keep morale high.
Yeah, absolutely. Black going in, a couple more swaps forward. They are going to be able to initiate onto the Venge, but the Venge forced to go and take that time lapse for the team. 2 heroes caught in the Chronosphere, and there's going to be a hook shot in. 2 more heroes from the Radiant Corrals, but looks like the Vengeful Spirit, she's going to be dead. No chance to eat the cheese. Nuts getting very, very low, but able to wand back up to enough health to stay back in there. Ice trying to make his way towards freedom, but he's burning and will be going down. So EG, without losing a single hero, take down a core. And that pesky offlaner. Now Jabs is able to go and make his way back forward, but Sumail finishes off another. That's an 0 for 3 in favor of EG. Faceless just weren't quite sure how to take that fight.
Yeah, they tried to go for the swap into the Static Storm play, but didn't come out fast enough. Sumail made it out of there, and then Weaver actually had to commit the time-lapse there to get Benj out of trouble. And of course, that was EG's big opening to take the team fight, so big blunder from Faceless, actually. They're not going to be able to use this Aegis very well at all. It's out in 50 seconds from now, too, so
yeah,
EG are buying time.
They didn't have a really clear game plan on who they were going and what spells they were going to expend. It was just kind of Venge, you know, trying her luck and got punished immediately. And then once you lose the Venge, you just can't really take a fight unless there's everyone in position, and they weren't. So, overall net worth, I mean, slightly sloping in favor of EG, or at least getting back to moving in that direction, but Faceless still with a big lead. Their levels are good, their items are good. They do have to eventually push up and take those tier 3s, and like you talked about earlier, this Treant Protector not making it easy. Just going ahead and making sure all that damage from the last 10 minutes of push is completely mitigated.
That's a gigantic turning point for EG. Tree has a Solar Crest now as well, so it makes it even more difficult. Puck has annoying items like Dagon, Yules. Like, he can just keep poking at the SF if he wants to keep trying to press up onto the high ground, but I don't think Faceless will try to push like that again. They're looking for a Smoke Ink on Arteezy mid right now. This is a tough kill to get, but they might be able to get it.
XY just going to be popping out a little bit of bait. Gets off the Wave of Terror, and there's the hookshot follow-up. Still holding onto the Rage. He's going to be silenced for now, but is able to get off the Rage. He's going to be TPing out, but the swap is able to go and cancel that TP, so it's just Arteezy versus the world. It's going to be infesting into a creep, and these creeps are going to be walking him right back home. So, long road for this little Rangy. We'll see if he's going to make it all the way in. And he's safe.
Heaven's Halberd, huh?
Not able to keep him silenced up and locked down. And yeah, that Halberd, a little bit of an unusual itemization for the Lifestealer. It was his first big item after the armlet, but really paying off, making sure Black can't do what Black does best.
Yeah, it makes him very tanky. A bit of, it wasn't the best coordination from Faceless. They used the cogs to bump him because they thought they needed a longer stun duration and able to get the Static Storm off, but that was not the case. Lifestealer makes it out. If they got that kill, they'd be walking up the high ground now, but didn't happen, so they're just going to retreat and farm up. Weaver has a Lotus Orb now, so he's building into all these utility items. I have zero idea what he'll get next because I've never seen Weaver get this farmed. He gets Gemini's Quick Buy, great item. But, I mean, both teams kind of just sitting back now. Nuts, goodbye. You were dead, sir.
Yeah, he was, you know, jungling really aggressively with no vision in the Radiant jungle. Now Radiant, they're pushing right back up under Dire Shrine. There's going to be that time lapse spent out onto Ice, and now Black can be going forward. The egg is plopped out, but there's going to be the silence and the Dream Coil. The disarm comes forward, so Shadowfeed has to run from the egg. Meanwhile, in the Chrono, they are able to lock down the Weaver and get down Jabs. There's a TP out from XY, and the Yules breaks it right up, so the Vengeful Spirit now going to be killed as well. This is EG turning it right back around, able to leave their base and find 3 kills without losing a single hero. These are those ultimate chains we were talking about, the big team fights where all ults are spent, but now at 40 minutes in, we're actually seeing some good results for EG.
Yeah, EG have come back from quite a large gold deficit now, and I mean, they look pretty in control for the most part. Faceless can't walk up to the hill to force any high grounds plays at all. And the EG are just catching them off guard.
Yeah, definitely not expecting that. Again, I do want to point out the whole fight started off because Disruptor was farming here, and Faceless had no vision of the area, so a little bit of an aggressive play is going to cost them dearly now. Ice, just going to be flaring, trying to keep this area under control, but he's surrounded. So EG, clearly, they're getting their act together. They're bringing this net worth lead back towards their favor. How do they keep it going? Do they just have to keep taking those big 5-on-5 fights, or what?
Well, they are not playing on a timer at all. Faceless probably feel like they're playing as if they need to end this game relatively soon, or else they just won't be able to match the team fight that EG has. Like, we're getting into that stage of the game now where EG have the damage to kill these heroes in their team fight. Lifestealer is actually insanely difficult to bring down right now, and he does tons of damage to Shadowfiend. Faceless Void just finished an Aghanim Scepter as well too, so he's starting to get items. I think they feel like if they can't end this game within the next Aegis, they're probably going to lose, so I imagine they'll play very, very aggressive, looking for kills, and EG are content to just sit back and push out these lanes and just farm.
Yeah, Black really having a tough time dealing with that halberd. We see now almost every fight he just has to kind of dance around for a couple of seconds and wait out that halberd, and he's going in for the Bloodthorn. You think he'll get it? You think that's the item?
Yeah, it's a very good item for sure. It helps with their some lockdown and damage problems. They actually don't have any way to deal with Bloodthorn right now, besides the Puck Yule Scepter, so looks good, and he's almost at it too.
There we go, Crit has that Infest Bomb inside. The smoke gonna be popped. They know someone's nearby, and XY eating up a little bit of the aggression. Roshan gonna be a long spawn here, but the fight already gonna be getting started. Two heroes gonna be inside, waiting for Sumail. He's gonna be using himself up, but there's the hook shot in. He's trapped in the Static Storm, and that's a godlike streak for Black. Not gonna be halberded this time.
That's no buyback for 80 seconds.
That's a lot of no buyback. Oh man. So Faceless, seems like they're not going to wait for Roche. They do want to push because they know Puck is going to be down.
Yeah, Puck was the hero that really stopped their push in the beginning. He would always nuke the waves over and over and over, so SF would have to tank the tower. Now without that, it's going to be pretty difficult, but Lifestealer, he's got a bunch of armor. He's going to sit in the front, Heaven's halberd up the SF, try to force him off the tower that way, but it's still very tough.
Vengeful Spirit holding that swap. We'll see if she's going to get it started on someone, but we saw how that went the last time. Now Arteezy pressing down, teasing out, going down the stairs, but Faceless, they're not going to get too greedy. They're not going to get too trigger happy. Got to have a lot of communication on how this fight gets started, and Arteezy going to make his way forward, raging off the missile and just getting burned to about half health, but this tower still slowly getting chipped. Faceless know they've got to finish this in one sitting, otherwise Treant Protector's going to heal it right back to full, and it looks like they are finally able to go and bust the high ground, so immediately Faceless back, they can take out Shrines, and then they can go for a really nice Roche fight.
Yeah, if it's Shrine time, Black also has 7,000 gold on him too, so he probably wants to finish up that Bloodthorn pretty soon. EG though, they're moving out. They know that this is happening.
Yeah, definitely a pretty predictable play from Faceless, but Faceless, they've got all their ults up. Lifestealer Infest Bomb still down for another 20 seconds, but he'll have it when the fight comes in. Now Faceless, they're going for the offensive play here. XY smoke is going to pop. They see the Treant Protector. They are going to swap him back up to the high ground here. He's going to immediately overgrowth. Meanwhile, XY taking some serious damage. The rest of the team going to be going forward. Universe pops the Chrono, does clip onto one, but can't do anything about it. Two heroes stuck in the cogs, and there's going to be a nice Static Storm from two. Arteezy just going to be pumped away from the cogs, and XY getting very, very low. Going to be going down. Sumail's still going to be low. The Crit joining the escape plan, but Jabs hot on their heels. They're trying to focus down Arteezy, but he's probably the most difficult to focus of the heroes. They make their way to the bottom shrine, and they are able to heal up. Faceless are still pursuing this. Universe is going to have a surprise inside. The Infest Bomb drops out as Arteezy claims another victim. Universe is going to be spraying out the time dilation, and there's going to be another Dream Coil. It seems like Faceless may have overstayed their welcome here. We'll see if EG is able to finish anything off. A time lapse onto Ice 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 to keep him nice and healthy, and now Arteezy, very low mana, starting to get low health as well. But Ice 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 is going to be taking a beating and does go down, so very, very long, drawn-out fight. We'll see if Jabs is going to get out okay. Looks like he makes it to the lane, but doesn't have a TP, so he's got a long scurry home.
Man, what a messy fight.
My goodness, what even happened there, Brax?
We had the Chronosphere zoning off the SF, so we couldn't hit anyone. You know, Faceless had a 7,000 gold lead before that fight, but Black has it all in the bank. They actually don't have a gold lead. He's got 8,000 gold on him. If he had the Bloodthorn there, he perhaps could have used it on the Void as he jumped in to kill him before Chronosphere went off. I just think that Faceless are being a bit too impatient right now, and perhaps they've lost a large window.
Yeah, I mean, that looked like just such an easy take the Shrine, take the Roche, but they wanted to kind of outplay EG. They wanted to predict their movements, but EG got the one up. So for now, EG, I mean, they know Roche is up. They know it's still unclaimed. We'll see if they're going to go for that or if they're going to push their luck here. Based on their doodles, it looks like they want to go, and they want to take another fight. They do have all their ults back online. Egg coming up right now. Universe with that Aghanim Scepter. Going to have a much shorter cooldown on that Chrono.
Yep, the Aghanim Scepter Chrono is really causing big problems for Faceless. It's just, even though they have Swap and Time Lapse, it still zones off someone from dealing damage.
Big movements here around the Roche pit. Going to be a quick smoke. Black just going to pick up some illusions and keep vision in pit, but yeah, EG, like you mentioned, they're not on a timer. They're feeling really patient. All they've got to do is have one more really cohesive fight, and this is a really difficult Roche for FACELESS to take because they can't really clump up all together because then they're falling victim to the Chronosphere, but they can't really stay apart because then Arteezy just starts eating them.
Yeah, but now FACELESS are actually just doing Roshan.
EG, they back off. They want to go deal with the creeps plopping into their base, and they're going to opt to stick together and move back as a team so they aren't just giving up this third Roche.
And this Roche is dying so fast right now.
Yep. That's another one. 3 Roches now for FACELESS. Going to be players just moving forward, and now EG, we'll see how they retaliate to this. It looks like they are smoked up. They weren't able to get to the pit in time to have a Roche fight, but well, they've got to have another hold here as FACELESS know they've got to be pushing. They got to use this Aegis to score, at least a full lane of racks or more.
If they're able to take a one team fight inside of EG's base, it's definitely going to give them enough farm and building damage to propel them into probably a victory here. But as we've seen pretty much this entire game, it is not easy to push into EG's lineup at all.
And Protector going to be a little scout here. He's got himself a gem, so that talked about very few buybacks. That could spell victory, but EG, we've seen them hold against much tougher circumstances.
This is going to be quite the difficult task to hold if they just let SF hit the base.
Zai again going to be the scout. Weaver does have a gem. We'll see if he's going to poke his head close enough to reveal that Treant Protector, but for now, he's going to settle for dewarding and making sure that EG are working with as little vision as possible. Now Crit going to be swapped back. That's where the fight's going to start. They use the silence on the Phoenix. Phoenix is slow and Phoenix does drop. There's no egg in this fight. XY did BKB, so doesn't have that for the rest of the engagement. Now Arteezy going to press forward, just goes for the instant infest. And now time lapse onto the Shadow Fiend, keeps everyone healthy. Chrono comes in onto 2. Universe, though, his attention split a little bit thin. He's going to get stunned up and can't do anything with the Chrono. A hook shot back in, and they do have vision on him, so he goes down. That's 2 heroes dead without buyback, and FACELESS, they're going to press forward and start taking racks here. Big silence comes out of Sumail, but he's going to have to go and leave as all of the mid racks are taken. They're going to rotate for bottom right quick. Arteezy's still up and at full health, but can't afford to be too close to these guys. FACELESS, they are still kicking. They've still got an Aegis, they've still got cheese.
If that Bloodthorn's doing so much work there, they had the Bloodthorn swap combo just to kill Phoenix, and then Void dies to it as well. But now swaps off full line again, so no one can walk up at all.
This is a huge turning point for FACELESS. They felt stagnated for so long, but this is it. Sumail going to go forward. They are going to swap Arteezy. They get the silence on him. They're stunning him up as well. Looks like Arteezy is going to be able to walk away, but hook shot in. Ice finds him on the back lines. He is going to be able to armlet toggle and get himself out of that sticky situation, but it's making enough time for Black to be able to go and slap these towers. It's a triple man dream coil, but it doesn't seem to matter. They're all just standing in place hitting towers. Dag into the belly, does finish off Vengeful Spirit, but she does have buyback. Now big zoom in from the Phoenix, going with the egg as well, and it looks like with that disarm pop forward, Battlefield does have to back himself off, and Sumail going to be moving in. Another Chronosphere does clip onto Black here. This could be huge. They could actually get down Black a second time. Another Dagon from Sumail able to go and lock down Nuts, so it's really just Shadow Fiend versus the world. Immediately gets silenced and disarmed, and immediately gets killed. My goodness, they took down an Aegis and 3 heroes.
Yeah, they made it look easy as well. I mean, that's
Sure
with
did.
all the defensive spells coming up and everything. So, I mean, EG do hold, but at quite a hefty price.
Now Jabs has a mission here. Just go in, make sure no one's out of line, look for some stragglers, but Weaver just going to be backing off, cutting the wave. I mean, there was a huge amount of progress made by FACELESS. For so long, they were just kind of sitting on the footsteps of the tier 3s. They finally found themselves 2 lanes of racks, but EG knows they've got to push and they got to go now.
Yeah, the Rocket Flare actually kills off the entire creep wave, and then Jabs cut the mid wave, so looks like they'll be able to save Black's buyback. Very nice.
Yep, Jab's going to be going in for that Diffusal Blade. Is that the item here for Weaver? Is that going to shake things up?
He's going to deal the damage now. This is his transition into the true carry.
We'll see if Sumail's going to be able to kill him. Looks like the silence comes out. He can't time lapse, but Artie Sakuchi is going to be hopping away. So where does EG go from here? They were able to take a really nice fight, but now they're 2 racks down. They're going to have to constantly be worried about ratting and split push. How does their strategy change?
Well, they can still hold their base. I don't think Faceless can actually push without Roche. I think they need that Aegis so that SF can kind of just sit there and tank all these spells up until he gets on the item. He's going for the Moon Shard next, so that's not really going to help him in terms of survivability. But EG, they probably feel like they can fight now without the Aegis and Cheese in the game. So, well, I guess Cheese is still in the game, but no Aegis is big. Like, we saw what happened when they killed SF at the very end. If he didn't have his team with him, he just dies back-to-back without even being able to do anything. And no Aegis means he can't casually just walk up to the base and hit the building for free. They can throw their spells and hit him over and over and force out the time-lapse. So, it's just, they know that it's going to be a long game if they do win this game.
Yeah, they got to pace themselves. SSI is still looking to, keep things active. Scouts out an Invis rune here. The rest of EG, they're all clumped up near the remains of their shrine. Alright, SSI is playing a bit of a dangerous game. They do have Vengeful Spirit nearby, though. Venge with the Invis rune, looking to get things started. And there's going to be crit, snapped back, and silenced up. It looks like that bird won't be flying much longer, but can he actually live through the entire duration of the Static Storm? He is able to go and get off the ult. Now Universe is going to be moving forward. Vengeful Spirit is going to be able to eat the cheese. BKB's up, and now she's going to be looking to turn the fight back around. ISISI is still stuck in the Dream Coil, and now XY isolated in. Another hookshot forward and a Chrono onto 2. This is looking pretty good for EG so far. They get 2 down, and Shadow Fiend, he goes down as well. Down for 100 seconds, does have buyback, but it's only Weaver left alive to tell his tale. Jab's going to be scuttering, trying to wrap himself around, but EG are doing it somehow. For the first time this game, they have pulled the net worth into their favor.
But that fight looked so easy for them. Like,
wow,
they were
what?
actually... Yeah, I don't know. This game has taken a complete swing, and it looks like Faceless are in quite a bit of trouble here closing out this game. They can't fight without Aegis, and Aegis isn't really going to do that whole lot, especially at this stage of the game when you have Puck, who's extremely farmed. He's throwing out Daggons left and right. Dagon like 4 times in that fight with his Refresher as well. Lifestealer actually does a ton of damage now, and he threatens all these heroes. So I have no idea what Faceless are trying to do here. Like, they have that... swap combo, of course, that we saw before. They can swap into the Bloodthorn, perhaps on the Lifestealer, trying to burst him. But I mean, there's going to be so much team fight follow-up coming up after that. Chronosphere, Egg, all these things.
For the first time this game, EG able to go and lay some serious damage onto the Dire side high ground, and they are going to be able to score a set of racks. Shadow Fiend just doesn't want to buy back. He wants to save it, but it's going to be costing him. Arteezy going to be finishing off this Rax. There you go, buddy. And just backing off. So EG, they go in, they get a fantastic fight. They turn that into objectives. They get the 1 lane of Rax that they're still holding on to. So these supers going to be doing a lot to keep top lane pushed out. And they're going to go take some shrines on their way back, limiting Roche control for Faceless. This is so huge.
Yep, and Roshan can start to spawn pretty soon here, so we'll probably try to keep some tabs on that.
Another Invis rune. There's been a lot of Invis runes picked up right there. Roshan, will it be long or short? Let's see. Medium. So still another 2 minutes till that's going to be back up.
Yeah, Lifestealer is sitting on 5,500 gold. Picks up a Manta style. So now he has something to break the Orchid, the Bloodthorn Silence.
So Faceless clearly getting a little bit more difficult for them. You can see the net worth just goes up and up and up for EG. How do they bring this back? Like, what does the fight have to look like for Faceless to come out really successful?
They could try for another swap Bloodthorn combo, not on the Lifestealer. If they were able to get the Faceless Void, I think it would be really good. Even the Phoenix would be very strong as well, but Phoenix is sitting on 39 armor right now.
Oh, jeez.
So he's very, very tanky, and it could buy enough time for EG to counter-initiate the fight. I mean, if they can get a pick like that, it would be great, but they're not going to be able to just casually walk up and hit their base like we saw before. That's just not an option at this stage of the game. It's going to have to be some swap play or some catch.
Yeah, EG, they just played this game so right, and having that Treant Protector made it so annoying for FACELESS to actually try to push high ground, because unless they actually went in and finished off the tier 3 in one go, it just got healed up right, right away. Really good tree play from Zai here, who has picked himself up a 4-staff, and dreaming of a blink, he can pick it up, but probably wanting to be saving for buyback as the fights are getting more and more meaningful. We're at 54 minutes in. Probably not going to be too many more big 5-on-5 fights here.
Yep, this is the stage of the game where buyback is incredibly important. One fight could end the game, and with buybacks, they can actually hold a fight even if they're down quite a bit, but EG are no longer down. They're in prime position to control Roshan. They do have a gold lead now as well. I mean, it's still 2-1 in sets in terms of racks, but it doesn't really matter at this stage of the game.
That's why looking to go forward. Definitely thinking about going on to Arteezy. That was a very interesting play. I think they were expecting the Venge to swap, and that was the follow-up, but just miscommunication. XY couldn't find the angle.
Yep, so now with that wasted static storm, they're doing Roshan right away. They waste no time walking in the pit.
That is, I mean, that's just Christmas for EG. A big burnt ultimate and FACELESS can't fight. It's a free Roche now for Arteezy, who's going ahead, dropping the armlet just to make room. So this is huge. EG, they're looking to close this out on this Aegis.
Alright, that was the Aegis, or the Roshan that FACELESS desperately needed to be able to attempt to finish this game, but no, they don't have it. Lifestealer has it in place of his armlet. He has been incredibly tanky this entire game. Now he's even tankier with the Aegis. He's got a second life.
EG,
I don't know. This game is tough. Very tough.
EG aren't in a hurry to just go and start tumbling down lanes. They're going to take their time. Clear bottoms. Mail definitely having some fun with his Dagon. He's got himself 3k gold saved up, so buybacks abound. Now, Arteezy still a little bit short of buyback. He's got to make sure he gets a little bit more farm before he goes crazy and starts pushing.
Yep, that he does, and you know, we were talking about the Weaver's items earlier. He had that Diffusal in his quick buy, but he opts to change it out and go for the Hex instead. And Hex is definitely something they need. They need that instant disable so they can follow up their other spells. It's not like him getting a Diffusal would have helped him turn into a carry at all. He's far past that point of the game. So, nice pickup there. He's pretty close to it, doesn't have it quite yet though. Prioritizing the buyback. Maybe that's something that can help them get back into this game and actually take a fight, because even if they win one fight, they're going to be buybacks they should be ready for. But this is the best place they can take a fight. If they take a fight in the game or inside of their own base, they have their own buyback advantage, and EG's buybacks won't let them reinforce as quickly.
Yep, so FACELESS, now it's their turn to hold. EG, they're definitely going to be patient with this one, stopping to take out all the exterior towers. Arteezy just handling this one by himself. Not even affected by these tower shots. Asamail has got that refresher ready, so there can be 2 Dream Coils in this fight, and like you talked about, the Dagons are just flying out every which way.
Yep, he's got so much money, he has no idea what to buy.
Oh, another 10 seconds. Puck can just go forward and blink in, Dagon again. Just keep trying to whittle down these big tanky cores on FACELESS.
Yep, and EG, very patient. They know we got items to get, guys. There's tons of farm on the map now. FACELESS are confined to their base when they're the ones up with this 2 sets of racks.
Yeah, man, look at this net worth lead. It looked so good for FACELESS for so long, but they just couldn't close it out. This is the point right here where they started hitting on high ground, but just couldn't find the towers. And EG slowly but surely just waited out the storm.
Yep, and FACELESS pretty much can't leave their base at all. They're just sitting inside, waiting for the inevitable push to come, but EG in no rush. They are farming, acquiring the gear. I mean, everyone's farming on EG, even from 1 to 5, every hero on their team is hitting some sort of creep on the map.
Yep, overall net worth, still a ways to go to catch up to the Shadow Fiend, who's been doing a good job, but starting to look a little bit more even than it was before. Earlier in the game, it was just Shadow Fiend versus the rest of the cores.
Yep, Shadow Fiends versus the world.
Now Black definitely needs the help of his teammates for this. Gotta be very careful not to drop that static storm without meaning. And now Arteezy just jumping up. They know he's got Aegis, so they can't get too crazy. And there's going to be the Hex swap in. This is going to be huge. They do end up finding the kill on the puck. Can go ahead and buy back, but getting back into this fight is tricky. Now, ult popped out by Universe. Going to be fighting outside the Chronosphere. Vengeful Spirit makes herself vulnerable. Black going to be able to make it back up to the high ground. Dreamcoil comes forward, and they force back the Clockwork, so Ice is stunned. Now Arteezy just goes to work on him. Hogs push back Arteezy. The rest of Faceless, they're buying back. They gotta withstand the Shadow Feed. Starting to get low, gonna be shrining up and living through it, but another Dream Coil comes out. She's eaten up, and oh, yeah, that's gonna be Ice. Getting very, very low, able to force himself back to freedom. Faceless, they're all still staying alive right now, and they do end up locking down Arteezy. He's going too forward. He does have the Aegis, but this isn't the fight that EG wanted, so they're gonna have to back off. Infest comes back out from Arteezy. Another swap in. They know he doesn't have the Infest. Aegis going to be burned. Sumail already used that refresher. Does not have his ult for 30 more seconds. Arteezy just going to be running to freedom as they're looking for more kills. But will Faceless push too far? Since they are still continuing to press forward, they are going to be able to glimpse back onto this Phoenix. They kill off the Phoenix. Looking for Arteezy here. Again, they popped his Aegis.
Weaver does a Hex up here.
Just a matter of getting in range. They're not going to chase past the river, though. Faceless, they learned their lesson from the earlier fights where they just chased EG all around the jungle. That's it. They got what they wanted. They have to go back and defend as this top lane is pushing in, going to be taking some damage on their tier 4s. Overall, I mean, is that on a scale of worst fight ever to exactly what Faceless need? How'd that go?
That's a victory. It's they got a puck buyback. Phoenix died as well. It was pretty good. But they're going to need some more fights like that in order to close this one out. I mean, this game is not ending in one fight. Both teams have buybacks on their key heroes for now. Except for the puck, of course.
Yeah, forcing that buyback's huge. And Faceless, they're going to take this opportunity to push. They leave their Vengeful Spirit behind. She's pretty right-click heavy and able to go and clean that out. Now, they do have vision on this Tree and Protector. They're still carrying the gem on the Weaver, so Tree going to be going down. He does have buyback, but he drops a gem. That's going to be a pretty expensive buyback to force out. Well, things looking okay for Faceless. They're still hanging in, starting to chip away at this massive net worth lead that EG have, but 61 minutes in, anything can happen. It's going to come down to these big fights, focusing down the cores and forcing those buybacks.
Yep, definitely. Anyone can really take these fights. It just depends how they start.
For now, everyone kind of splitting up, clearing out lanes, mid and top. Going to be taken care of. Now, Faceless, if they actually go and get Megas here, for some reason, if they're able to go and just sneak in a couple of structures, will that change anything, or can EG totally deal with that?
It'll definitely change the game. Megas, they'll be sitting in their base the whole time, and if Faceless really wanted to, they could farm out the entire map for the next 30 minutes and win the game that way. But I think Mega Creeps are definitely game over for EG.
Faceless, I mean, they can taste the victory here. Again, these guys have been matched up 5 times before, and EG still holding that title. 5 victories over Faceless, but Faceless looking to change that here today. It's been a long-fought first game. Again, we're in a best-of-3, so no matter what happens here, still guaranteed at least one more game of action.
Yeah, and what an action-packed game we have here.
Arteezy going to be out on his own, but he's got that Manta. He's got plenty of survivability.
He
Crawling
just
up
used
here,
it,
though. Yeah, he's going to be Hex. Now, he does have that Lotus Orb plopped on him by his team, and Universe going to be coming forward, going to be chronoing up the Shadow Fiend, just taking care of him solo. Sumail comes in, dumps the Dagon on him, and now swap back, keeping the Shadow Fiend safe, but they get down the Weaver, who doesn't have buyback. They're so close to getting down Black, but they're not able to find him. Arteezy, though, finds himself another kill onto the Vengeful Spirit. This is huge. This is 2 heroes dead without buyback, and now Faceless for sure cannot push, and well, it's up in the air if they can even defend.
I mean, this might be game. It's going to lead up to the next team fight inside Faceless's face. Chronosphere's up in 30 seconds thanks to Aghanim Scepter, and Puck's Dream Coil is also almost up 35 seconds on that spell.
Yeah, there was just such good communication. It was Universe kind of takes aside Shadow Fiend and, you know, just right-clicks him for a little bit, but Puck comes in with the Dagon, and that created just enough damage to force the Shadow Fiend back. They forced the Venge swap out trying to save the Shadow Fiend so they couldn't use it aggressively. And then it was just FACELESS trying to mitigate loss. Now, here we go, Clockwork. Maybe thinking about setting up a hook shot. They've got some serious damage coming out of Black, who picked up the Satanic. But gonna be enough. Arteezy scores up another tier 3 tower going into these racks, and yeah, Black can't fight without his team backing him. Black's gotta be careful here. Universe does have that Chrono back online.
Yep, he's got to be very careful with that Chronosphere. Weaver is up in 10 seconds at least, so maybe they can stall for that.
It's going to be a long 10 seconds, and that's going to be a 10 seconds potentially filled with Mega Creeps as Universe dumps out another ult. Towers are fortified. They've got to take a pause button on Structure, but they'll settle for some kills. And with Shadow Fiend going down, it's getting close to GG. He immediately buys back, but towers are starting to get low. Jabs moves forward. Black again comes back in, wants to find the kill on Arteezy, but well, they can't catch up to him. With Venge still dead, they don't have the swap. There's going to be a glimpse back. They get the silence onto Sumail. Sumail going to be able to blink away. Phase Shift saves him for the moment, and he will get out by the skin of his teeth. Rocket Flare comes in, but they'll be A-okay. Jab's going to keep hot on his heels, but looks like that little fairy dragon gets home free.
Yep, the elusive puck. Nice Lotus Orbs coming out, removing the Hex and the silence. I mean, that's the real shame, right? They don't have any disables that don't get removed by that Lotus Orb. They have, like, the Vengeful Spirit Magic Missile, and then we have Clockwork's Hook. And that's about it for the control on FACELESS. Static Storm and the Disruptors combo doesn't really do a whole lot when they have BKBs.
FACELESS at least get a taste of freedom, as they know EG are going to back off for a couple of seconds, but Roche coming up in 5 more seconds, and this is going to be a pretty heated fight. Chrono already back online. In fact, all the ults from EG are ready to go, and they're going to go Luge Reorb into the pit. Roshan respawns right as Universe walks in, and well, this is it. All of the heroes gathered up around it. This could potentially be the last fight in the game. Buyback starting to get few and far between now. Chrono comes in. They isolate the Vengeful Spirit right away. Arteezy to be making space, chasing back the Shadow Fiend. They're able to disarm him. Now Vengeful Spirit just BKB'd, trying to run up the hill, but is going to go ahead and get stunned. Hex comes in. Arteezy now running for his life. He's going to be Lotus Orb. Hook shot. Not going to connect onto anything. And Universe spraying out time dilations for all he's worth. There are no casualties currently, but everyone just wants to go their separate ways. Ults burned and nothing found from it. Who wins then?
All right. No one. No, EG win. Their ultimates are on a lower cooldown. We have Chronosphere up in 25 seconds, Coil up in 15. Shadow Fiend ultimate's on a longer cooldown.
Well, they're going to go forward. They are able to immediately hex up and kill off Sumail, dead without buyback. That's going to be big. Now glimpse back forward. They're keeping the rest of EG corralled. Arteezy going to get that Lotus Orb sprayed on him. Going to be Manta dodging whatever he can, but XY burning low. Missile dropped on him. Hookshot comes in, though, and Hurricane Pike moving forward. Time-lapse burned onto the Vengeful Spirit. They're going to be able to go forward and stun. Universe trapping his own allies inside the Chronosphere.
Game just one failed push, and that was all it took.